The massive screen in Earth's United Defense Command Center lit up with an unexpected signal. Admiral James Walker stood from his chair, his weathered face illuminated by the pulsing light of the incoming transmission. The room fell silent as hundreds of military personnel stopped their work to stare at the screen. "Sir, the signal is coming from just beyond Mars orbit," reported the young officer at the communication station. "It's nothing like we've ever seen before." The signal crackled, and then a face appeared on the screen. The creature looked almost human, but its skin had a slight purple tint, and its eyes were too large to be Earthborn. The being spoke, and the universal translators kicked in. "People of Earth, I am Lord Grey, Ambassador of the Galactic Empire. Your planet has been discovered and marked for integration into our glorious empire. We bring you civilization and order. Surrender now, and your transition will be peaceful." Admiral Walker couldn't help but smile. In his 30 years of military service, he had seen many things, but this was new. An alien empire demanding Earth's surrender. They clearly hadn't done their homework. "Ambassador," Walker replied, standing tall in his blue uniform. "I am Admiral James Walker of the United Earth Defense Force. While we appreciate your offer, I must inform you that Earth is not interested in surrendering. In fact, I strongly suggest you reconsider your demand." The alien's large eyes blinked in surprise. "Admiral, perhaps you don't understand. The Galactic Empire spans over 10,000 worlds. Our fleet numbers in the millions. Resistance would be—" He paused for effect. "Unfortunate." Walker walked closer to the screen, his boots echoing on the metal floor. "Ambassador, let me be clear. We're not refusing out of ignorance or pride. We're warning you because we don't want unnecessary bloodshed. The Empire may rule 10,000 worlds, but I guarantee you've never encountered a species quite like humans." Lord Grey's purple face showed what might have been amusement. "Admiral, every primitive species believes they are special. What makes humans different?" Walker nodded to his communications officer. "Sending you a small data packet, Ambassador. It's just a brief overview of human history. Pay special attention to the section on warfare." The alien's expression shifted as he received the data. His large eyes grew even wider as he scrolled through the information. This must be propaganda. No species could have survived this many conflicts. World War I, World War II, the Cold War, the Resource Wars. Walker listed them off casually. "And those are just the big ones from the last 150 years. Would you like me to go further back? But these casualties, these weapons, you used atomic bombs on your own planet." Lord Grey's voice had lost its confident edge. "Twice," Walker confirmed. "And that was when we were just getting started with nuclear physics. Would you like to see what we can do now?" The command center remained silent as Lord Grey processed this information. The alien's purple skin had taken on a paler shade. "Ambassador," Walker continued, his voice firm but not unkind, "humans have spent most of our history fighting each other. We've gotten very, very good at it. Now that we're united, we'd prefer to focus on peaceful exploration and advancement. But make no mistake, if the Empire forces this conflict, you will be facing a species that has refined the art of warfare for thousands of years." Lord Grey straightened his posture, trying to regain his diplomatic composure. "These are impressive tales, Admiral, but surely you exaggerate. No civilization could advance through such constant conflict." Walker shook his head slowly. "That's where you're wrong, Ambassador. Conflict drove our greatest advancements. From the first stone tools to faster-than-light travel, warfare has pushed human innovation further and faster than anything else. We don't want war with the Empire, but if you force our hand—" He let the sentence hang unfinished. "I will consult with my superiors," Lord Grey said stiffly. "But the Empire does not take kindly to threats, Admiral." "This isn't a threat, Ambassador," Walker replied calmly. "It's a friendly warning. Run it up your chain of command. Let them know what they're dealing with, because if they decide to push this—" Walker smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. Then we'll show you why humans have survived every war we've ever fought. The transmission ended, leaving the command center in silence. Walker turned to his staff, noting their tense expressions. "Send word to all Earth defense stations," he ordered. "Tell them to prepare for war. The Empire won't take our warning seriously. They never do." 3 days after the first contact, Lord Grey returned to Earth. This time, he brought a small fleet of 5 ships that positioned themselves near the moon. The Empire clearly wanted to show their power, but the humans remained unimpressed. In the Grand Meeting Hall of the United Earth Defense Command, Fleet Commander Thomas Reed prepared his presentation. The room was filled with both human military leaders and Empire representatives. The walls displayed massive screens showing Earth's military history. "Since you didn't take Admiral Walker's warning seriously," Reed began, standing before the alien delegation, "let me show you exactly what you're walking into." Lord Grey sat with perfect posture, his purple skin gleaming under the bright lights. "Commander, we have reviewed your historical data. While impressive for a young species, surely you understand." "No, Ambassador," Reed cut him off. "You haven't really understood it all. Computer, display World War II casualties." The screen lit up with numbers. The aliens shifted uncomfortably in their seats. 60 million dead in just 6 years, Reed continued. "And that was when we could only fight on land, sea, and air. Now we can fight in space too." He walked closer to the alien delegation. "Want to know something interesting? We've had more wars in our recorded history than your empire has had in its entire existence." One of the Empire's military advisors, Captain Stone, spoke up. "Impossible. Our empire is over 10,000 years old." Reed smiled. "Computer, display total number of human conflicts." The number appeared on the screen. 15,347 recorded wars. The aliens stared in shocked silence. "And those are just the ones we wrote down," Reed added. "We probably missed a few hundred from our early history." Lord Grey's large eyes blinked rapidly. "But how did your species survive?" "That's the point you're missing," Reed explained. "We didn't just survive. We thrived. Every war taught us something new. Every conflict made us stronger." He pressed a button, and the display changed to show human technological advancement. "See this curve? This is how fast we develop technology. Notice how it spikes during every major war." The Empire's representatives whispered among themselves as they studied the data. "You developed spaceflight just 200 years after inventing powered aircraft," Captain Stone asked in disbelief. "World War II pushed us to split the atom. The Cold War got us to the moon. The resource wars taught us fusion power." Reed listed them off casually. "Want to guess what we developed during the First Contact War with the Martian colonies?" The aliens leaned forward, interested despite themselves. "Quantum weaponry," Reed said quietly. "We learned how to tear apart the fabric of space itself just to win a war against our own colonies." Lord Grey stood up suddenly. "You're trying to frighten us with tales of violence. The Empire has the most advanced military force in the known galaxy." Reed walked to a side table and picked up what looked like a simple metal cube. "This is one of our training devices. We use it to teach children about basic weapon safety." He placed it on the table in front of Lord Grey. "Try to scan it." The Empire's technology advisor pulled out a scanning device. After a moment, he looked confused. "It appears to be made of simple steel." Reed pressed a hidden button. The cube transformed, unfolding into a complex device that hummed with energy. The Empire's scanning device exploded in a shower of sparks. "That's just a training tool," Reed said calmly. "Imagine what our actual weapons can do." The room fell silent. Lord Grey's purple skin had turned almost white. "You still have time to walk away," Reed continued. "We don't want war. Humans are tired of fighting. But make no mistake, if you force this conflict, we will end it. And we will win. Not because we're stronger or more advanced, but because humans have spent their entire existence learning one simple lesson. And what lesson is that? Lord Grey asked quietly. That survival isn't about being the biggest or strongest. It's about being willing to do whatever it takes to protect what's yours. Reed's voice was deadly serious. We've fought ourselves for thousands of years. We've mastered every form of warfare imaginable. And now you want to fight us. All of humanity, united against a common enemy for the first time in our history. Reed shook his head slowly. Ambassador, I'm trying to save your empire. Take this warning back to your leaders. Run. Run before you learn firsthand why every human child knows the old saying. What saying? Captain Stone asked. God created war so that humans would learn geography. Reed smiled grimly. Soon, you'll learn every corner of space the hard way if you don't listen. As the Empire's delegation left the meeting hall, their confident postures were gone. But Reed knew it wouldn't be enough. The Empire's pride wouldn't let them back down. War was coming. The Empire's answer to Earth's warning came 2 weeks later. 200 warships appeared near Mars, their golden hulls gleaming in the sunlight. Each ship was massive, nearly 3 miles long, bristling with weapons that could destroy entire continents. Admiral Walker watched them from the command center, sipping his coffee calmly. They sent their small fleet, he noted to Commander Reed, who stood beside him. Just as we expected. Small? Asked a young officer. Sir, there are 200 ships out there. Walker smiled. For an empire that claims to have millions of ships, sending only 200 means they're not taking us seriously. He put down his coffee cup. Let's show them why that's a mistake. Signal all stations. Operation Mousetrap is go. Across the solar system, hidden human ships and stations powered up. The Empire wouldn't know what hit them. The Empire's fleet commander's voice boomed across all channels. People of Earth, you have been warned. Surrender now or face the might-off. Begin, Walker ordered quietly. What happened next would be written into Empire history books as the Mars Massacre. The humans struck first, but not how the Empire expected. Instead of large warships coming to face them, hundreds of tiny ships, no bigger than fighter craft, appeared from behind Mars' moons. The Empire's commanders laughed at first. What could such small ships do? Then the first Empire warship exploded. Stealth bombers, reporting direct hits, came the calm voice over the radio. Phase 1 complete. The Empire fleet scrambled to respond, but their massive ships were too slow to track the tiny human vessels. While they were distracted, the real attack began. Mars Defense Grid, you have permission to fire, Walker commanded. The surface of Mars lit up as hidden weapon platforms emerged from the red sand. Quantum torpedoes streaked across space, each one carrying enough power to tear reality itself. The Empire's shields, designed to stop normal weapons, might as well have been paper. Sir, reported the sensor officer, 50 enemy ships destroyed in the first wave. The Empire finally began to fight back. Their golden ships launched thousands of fighters and fired their planet-killer weapons. But the humans had studied war too long to fall for direct attacks. Activate the mirror fields, ordered Walker. The Empire's energy weapons hit what looked like empty space and bounced back. Their own shots tore through their ships, causing chaos in their formation. How? The Empire commander's panicked voice came through. How did you redirect our weapons? Walker didn't bother to respond. Instead, he gave the order everyone had been waiting for. Release the drones. From Earth's moon, millions of small drones launched. Each one was barely bigger than a basketball, but they carried humanity's most dangerous weapon, artificial intelligence. The drones swarmed the Empire ships like angry bees. They cut through hulls, disabled weapons, and corrupted computer systems. Empire crews watched in horror as their own ships began firing on each other. Sir, reported Commander Reed, the enemy is trying to retreat. Let some of them go, Walker ordered. They need to report what happened here. But the Empire's commanders were too proud to retreat. Instead, they gathered their remaining ships for one final attack. Very well, Walker sighed. He picked up his coffee again. Show them our last surprise. Authorization code. Remember Pearl Harbor. From behind the sun itself came humanity's true warships. Not the tiny fighters or drones that had been harassing the Empire, but massive black vessels that seemed to swallow light itself. This is Captain Lisa West of the Earth ship Humanity's Vengeance. A new voice announced to the Empire fleet. You were warned. The battle ended in less than an hour. Of the 200 Empire ships that arrived, only 10 were allowed to escape. The rest became debris floating around Mars, a warning to anyone else who might threaten Earth. In the command center, Walker finally finished his coffee. Send word to all Earth forces, he ordered. Phase 1 is complete. Begin preparing for Phase 2. The Empire will be back, and next time, they'll take us seriously. Reed looked at the battle reports. Sir, we destroyed nearly 200 advanced alien warships, and we lost only 6 pilots and 12 drones. The Empire won't believe it. Good, Walker replied, because this was just our warning shot. Now they'll either wise up and leave us alone. He looked at the retreating Empire ships on the screen. Or they'll learn why humans haven't lost a war in over 100 years. Should we pursue them, sir? No, Walker smiled. Let them run. Let them tell their leaders what happened here, and let them wonder what else we're hiding. As the Empire ships disappeared into deep space, Earth's forces began cleaning up the debris. The first battle was over, but everyone knew the war was just beginning. 1 month after the Mars battle, Admiral Stone of the Empire arrived in the Sol system with 1,000 ships. His flagship alone was larger than any vessel humans had ever built, stretching 10 miles from end to end. Its golden hull bore the scars of 100 victories against other alien races. But this time, something was different. This time, the Empire was scared. Display the Mars battle footage again, Stone ordered his officers. He had watched it 50 times already, but something still bothered him. The massive screen showed Earth's small ships dancing between Empire vessels, the quantum torpedoes that ignored shields, and the swarms of intelligent drones. But most disturbing were the black ships that appeared at the end. Where did they come from? Stone muttered. Our sensors didn't detect them until they were right on top of us. Admiral, his second-in-command interrupted. Earth's forces are hailing us. The screen changed to show Admiral Walker, sitting casually in his command chair. He was drinking coffee, just like in every transmission. Admiral Stone, Walker nodded. I see you brought more ships this time. Good. We were hoping for a real fight. Stone stood tall. Your tricks won't work twice, human. We've analyzed your tactics. We've upgraded our shields. Look behind you, Walker interrupted, still sipping his coffee. Stone spun around. Through his bridge window, he saw something impossible. A human ship, one of their black vessels, was floating less than a mile from his flagship. No alarms had gone off. None of his 1,000 ships had detected it. How long has that ship been there? Stone demanded. Oh, about 6 hours, Walker replied. We have 5 more sitting next to your other command ships, too. Just wanted to let you know that we could have ended this already. But where's the fun in that? Stone's purple face darkened with rage. All ships, open fire on that human vessel. 1,000 Empire ships turned their weapons on the black ship. Energy beams and plasma torpedoes streaked through space. When the barrage ended, the human ship was untouched. Are you done? Walker asked. Because now it's our turn. The black ship fired a single shot. The beam passed through 20 Empire ships before stopping. Every ship it touched simply ceased to exist, leaving perfect circular holes through their hulls. New technology, Walker explained. We call it the eraser. Removes matter from reality itself. Took us just 2 weeks to develop it after studying your shields from the last battle. Stone stared in horror at the perfect holes cut through his fleet. That's impossible. You can't develop new weapons that quickly. Says who? Walker smiled. We've had a lot of practice. Did you know humans invented nuclear weapons just 6 years after discovering nuclear fission? Your empire took 200 years to make the same leap. More black ships appeared around Stone's fleet, blinking into existence like dark stars. Last chance, Walker said. Take your ships and go home. Tell your leaders that Earth is off limits, or stay and find out what other surprises we've prepared. Stone looked at his tactical display. The human ships were positioned perfectly. If they fired, his entire fleet would be cut to pieces in seconds. You haven't won, Stone growled. The Empire will send more ships. Millions more. Good, Walker replied. We've been looking for a reason to test our new toys. Did you get a chance to read Earth's history? Do you know what happened every time someone tried to invade us? Stone had read the reports. He knew about World War II, about Russia's frozen fields filled with dead invaders, about guerrilla fighters who defeated superior forces. We don't just defeat invaders, Admiral Stone, Walker continued. We study them. We learn from them. And then we become better at war than they ever were. Right now, our scientists are probably inventing 10 new ways to destroy your ships, just because you gave us a reason to. Stone looked at the holes in his fleet again. One shot had destroyed 20 ships. Retreat, he ordered quietly. All ships, retreat. As the Empire fleet turned to leave, Walker's voice came through one last time. By the way, Admiral Stone, remember that ship that sat next to you for 6 hours? Its crew planted some gifts on your hull. You might want to check your engine room. Stone ran to the engine room himself. There, attached to the main power core, he found a small black box with a note written in perfect Empire language. We could have ended you. Remember that. Humanity. The Empire fleet limped home, carrying not just battle damage, but something far more dangerous. The realization that they had awakened a sleeping giant. And this giant didn't just know how to fight. It loved finding new ways to win. The Empire's High Council finally decided to use their ultimate weapon. They called it the Planet Cleaner, a massive ship that could strip a world of all life in minutes. It was bigger than Earth's moon, built over 300 years, and had never failed a mission. Now it floated at the edge of the solar system, surrounded by 5,000 escort ships. In Earth's command center, Admiral Walker didn't look worried. Instead, he turned to Commander Mary Wells, Earth's youngest fleet commander at just 35 years old. They'd brought their big gun, Walker said, pointing at the massive ship on the screen. Ready to show them ours. Wells smiled. She had waited her whole career for this moment. Operation Death Star is ready, sir. Death Star? Asked a young officer. Named after an old movie, Wells explained. Sometimes the best ideas come from science fiction. She turned to her console and pressed a button. All ships, this is Commander Wells. Begin Operation Death Star. At first, nothing seemed to happen. The Empire's Planet Cleaner moved closer to Earth, its massive hull blocking out distant stars. 15 minutes until they're in firing range, reported the sensor officer. Wells nodded. Perfect. Release the mosquitoes. From hidden bases on Europa, Jupiter's moon, thousands of tiny ships launched. Each one was only big enough for a single pilot. The Empire didn't even bother shooting at them. Such tiny ships against our greatest weapon. The Empire commander's voice boomed over the communication channel. Your arrogance will be your end. You still don't understand humans, do you? Wells replied. Size doesn't matter. Ask any mosquito. The tiny ships reached the Planet Cleaner. Instead of attacking, they landed on its hull. The Empire's commanders laughed. Then the first explosion rocked the massive ship. What's happening? The Empire commander demanded. We studied your ship designs, Wells explained calmly. Big ships need lots of cooling vents. Those vents are just big enough for our smallest ships to enter. And our pilots, well, they're very good at finding critical spots to plant bombs. More explosions followed. The planet cleaner's outer hull began breaking apart. Impossible, the Empire commander shouted. Our shields can't stop what's already inside. Wells finished for him. Basic military tactics. Why fight a fortress wall when you can sneak through its door? The Empire's escort ships tried to help, but they faced their own problems. Hidden in the asteroid belt, human quantum cannons opened fire. Each shot passed through multiple ships, leaving those perfect circular holes that Empire crews had learned to fear. Commander, Admiral Walker said softly, "Show them the real surprise." Wells grinned. With pleasure. Gateway control, you have permission to activate. In space around the planet cleaner, 30 massive rings lit up. They had been hiding there all along, covered in the same stealth technology as Earth's black ships. What are those? The Empire commander's voice shook with fear. Something new we built, Wells replied. We got the idea from studying your ship's engines. You use space folding for faster-than-light travel. We thought, why not weaponize it? The rings powered up. Space itself began to twist. You see, Wells continued, your planet cleaner is too big to destroy with normal weapons. So we're not going to destroy it. We're going to fold space around it. Send it somewhere else. We're thinking, maybe the center of the sun. You can't, the Empire commander screamed. The crew should have stayed home. Wells finished. Gateway activated. The rings fired. Space twisted like paper being folded. The planet cleaner, the Empire's greatest weapon, vanished in a flash of light. Where it had been, only empty space remained. From the escort fleet, thousands of escape pods launched. The Empire's crews abandoned their ships, running from the humans who had just casually thrown their largest ship into the sun. Walker turned to Wells. Send them one last message before they run. Wells nodded. Attention Empire forces. The planet cleaner took us 3 days to defeat. We spent more time making the plan than executing it. Ask yourselves, what else have we built? What other weapons are we hiding? Do you really want to find out? The escape pods accelerated away from Earth. Behind them, their abandoned ships floated dead in space, monuments to the day the Empire learned why humans warned them to run. Sir, Wells turned to Walker. Should we destroy the abandoned ships? No, Walker replied. Let them float there. Let everyone see them. Let the galaxy know what happens when you force humans to go to war. He looked at the screen showing the retreating Empire forces. Besides, we need somewhere to put the warning signs. Here lies the Empire's greatest fleet, defeated by a species they thought was primitive. Don't make the same mistake. The Empire's High Council chamber had never been so quiet. 12 purple-skinned leaders sat around a massive golden table, watching footage of their planet cleaner disappearing into a fold in space. None of them spoke. None of them could believe what they had seen. Lord Grey stood before them, his usual confidence gone. My lords, we've made a terrible mistake. Show it again, ordered High Commander Rex, the oldest member of the council. His hand shook as he watched the human ships, so tiny against their massive fleet, tear apart the Empire's greatest weapon like it was made of paper. 3 days, he whispered. They said it took them just 3 days to figure out how to destroy our planet cleaner. 3 days. Another council member, General Voss, slammed his fist on the table. Impossible. Our scientists spent 3 centuries building that weapon. No species cold. But they did, Lord Grey interrupted. And that's not the worst part. He pressed a button, showing new data on the screens. Our analysis shows the humans were holding back. They'd been holding back in every battle. The council chamber erupted in confused whispers. Admiral Stone, still shaken from his defeat, stepped forward. My lords, during our last battle, I discovered human monitoring devices on my flagship. They could have destroyed us at any time. Instead, They left us notes. They were playing with us. High Commander Rex leaned forward. Playing? Like a cat with a mouse, Lord Grey explained, having learned about Earth's animals. They wanted to see what we would do. Every time we attacked, they studied our technology, then built something to counter it. Not in years or months, but in days. He showed more footage. The small ships that disabled Empire vessels, the quantum weapons that ignored shields, the space-folding rings that sent their greatest weapon into the sun. This was never a war, Lord Grey continued. It was a research opportunity for them. Every battle taught them something new. And now, he paused, his voice shaking. Now they know everything about our technology. Surely we can still overwhelm them, General Voss argued. We have millions of ships. We cooled. Die. Admiral Stone cut in. We would all die. He pressed another button, showing a final piece of footage. It showed Earth's moon, but something was wrong with the image. 2 hours ago, our spies discovered this, Stone explained. The humans have built something around their moon. We don't know what it is, but it's big. Bigger than anything we've ever made. The council stared at the strange structure that now wrapped around Earth's moon like a metal web. They built that in a month, Lord Grey said quietly. 1 month, and we still don't know what it does. Do you want to find out? Do you want to risk the entire Empire to find out what else they've been building while we weren't looking? High Commander Rex stood slowly. For the first time in his 300-year life, he felt old. How did we not know? How did we not see what they were? Because we were arrogant, Lord Grey replied. We saw their small world, their short lives, their constant wars, and we thought them primitive. We never considered that those wars had turned them into something new. Something that sees combat not as destruction, but as evolution. He showed one final image, a simple Earth history book, open to a page about World War II. In just 6 years of one war, they went from basic aircraft to jet engines, from simple code to computers, from atomic theory to nuclear weapons, and now we've given them access to space warfare technology. What do you think they're doing with it? The council chamber fell silent again. Everyone stared at the strange structure around Earth's moon, wondering what kind of weapon could need an entire moon to power it. Finally, High Commander Rex spoke. Send the peace delegation. Give them whatever they want. He looked at the image of Earth's moon again. Just keep them away from our worlds. It may be too late for that, Lord Grey said softly. They know we're out here now. They know what our technology can do, and they've learned how to make it better. He looked at each council member in turn. The question isn't whether we should make peace. The question is, will they let us? As if to answer his question, a new message arrived from Earth. The council watched as Admiral Walker's face appeared on their screen, still drinking his coffee, still looking completely calm. Ready to talk? Walker asked. Or do you need another demonstration? The Empire's High Council, rulers of 10,000 worlds, did something they had never done before. They surrendered. The peace ceremony took place on neutral ground, a space station built halfway between Earth and Mars. It was a simple metal ring floating in space, chosen specifically because both sides helped build it. The Empire had supplied their best metals, while humans provided the design. Admiral Walker stood at the main window, watching ships from both fleets float peacefully in space. For the first time in months, he wasn't drinking coffee. Instead, he held a pen, an old-fashioned Earth pen that would soon sign the most important document in human history. Quite a view, isn't it? He asked Lord Grey, who stood beside him. The Empire's ambassador had changed since their first meeting. His proud posture was gone, replaced by a respectful caution. Indeed. Though I must ask, what is that structure around your moon? Our scientists still can't figure it out. Walker smiled. Would you believe it's a giant pizza oven? Lord Grey blinked his large eyes in confusion. It's nothing. Walker laughed. Just a frame for construction projects. We needed something to keep your spies busy while we prepared for the peace talks. You mean, it's not a weapon. The best weapon is the one you never have to use, Walker replied. Sometimes, just making people think you have something scary is enough. The Empire's entire High Council entered the room, followed by Earth's military leaders. Everyone took their seats around a large table made of both Earth wood and Empire metal. High Commander Rex spoke first. We are here to sign the Sol System Sovereignty Act. This document will recognize Earth and its solar system as an independent territory, free from Empire control or influence. Commander Mary Wells, representing Earth's fleet, stood up. And in return, humanity will share some of our technological advancements with the Empire. Defensive technologies only, of course. We don't want any more misunderstandings. The Empire leaders shifted uncomfortably. Everyone knew misunderstandings meant wars they couldn't win. Admiral Stone, now the Empire's chief military advisor, raised his hand. What about the structure around your moon? Walker grinned. Tell you what, you don't invade us, and you'll never have to find out what it does. The signing began. Each leader placed their mark on the document. Earth signatures in black ink, Empire signatures in golden light. When it was done, humanity had officially become the first civilization to defeat the Empire in 10,000 years. But Walker wasn't finished. He stood up one last time. There's one more thing, he said. We've prepared a gift for the Empire. Empire leaders tensed, but Walker pulled out a simple data drive. This contains designs for better medical equipment, improved food production systems, and more efficient space engines. Not weapons, tools for peace. He placed it on the table. Because humans don't just learn from war, we learn from peace too. Lord Grey picked up the drive carefully. Why would you share this with us? Because the next time you meet a new species, Walker explained, we want you to try talking first. Fighting should be the last option, not the first. We learned that lesson the hard way, through thousands of wars. Maybe you can learn it the easy way. High Commander Rex nodded slowly. We will place warning beacons around your solar system. All Empire ships will know this space is forbidden. Good, Walker replied. But make sure those beacons say why. Tell them about the species that builds weapons faster than you can blink. The ones who turned your own technology against you in days. The ones who threw your biggest ship into the sun just to prove they could. He looked each Empire leader in the eye. Tell them about the humans who gave you a chance to run, and what happened when you didn't take it. Later that day, as Empire ships prepared to leave the solar system, Lord Grey had one final question for Walker. What will humans do now? With all this knowledge, all this power? Walker pointed to the stars. There's a whole galaxy out there. We'll explore it, learn from it, maybe make some friends. But mostly, we'll do what humans do best. We'll innovate, create, and build. And if anyone else makes the same mistake the Empire did. He didn't need to finish the sentence. The Empire's leaders had learned their lesson. They had discovered that humans weren't just good at fighting. They were good at learning. Every battle taught them something new. Every challenge made them stronger. As the Empire ships disappeared into deep space, new beacons activated around the solar system. They'd broadcast a simple message in every known language. This is human space. They warned us to run. We didn't listen. Learn from our mistake. The Galactic Empire. Walker looked at the beacons and smiled. Finally, he could get back to his coffee. After all, there were still stars to explore, technologies to develop, and lessons to learn. Because that's what humans do best. They learn, they adapt, and they never, ever stop improving. The end.